Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, I figured it was time for another long-term update / long-term reviews on a couple of knives. And for this video, I decided to look at some of the knives that I have used and carried the most because I realized that I haven't done updates on some of them in a while. So that's what we're going to do today. Some of my most favorite pocket knives. First of all, the CJRB Feldspar. This one is not on the list. I was going to do a long-term update with this knife, but I realized that I kind of already did when I made the video, is a CJRB Feldspar still a good budget knife in 2022? You can check that video out. It basically has all my thoughts in there. So, yeah. Not going to be in this video, but definitely a pocket knife that I love a lot and I've carried a whole lot since I got it. And I have a ton of them now. So let's start this list off properly with the Damn Designs Cerberus. So I absolutely love this knife. I love this knife. This is one of my favorite budget knives. It's one of my favorite work knives. I love the ergos. It just fits my hand so well. It's nice and chunky, but the blade geometry is good. You have a strong, flat grind, but it still gets down to like 15 thousandths. The jimping here is very, very nice. Love that jimping. The action is just amazing. Love the action. Reversible clip, and I love how they have the filler tab. I like the look of the pivot. I love the way this G10 is contoured and chamfered all the way around like that. Really, really cool. The clip itself is good as well. No complaints there. And yeah, overall, it's just a knife that I really enjoy carrying. And I'll carry this knife in a bunch of different situations. This is one of those few flipper bearing knives that I'm not afraid to take out in the woods with me. Or I guess I should rephrase it. It's not like I'm afraid to take out bearing knives in the woods. It's that I just... They don't always do the best. They get gummed up with dirt and stuff, and I have to clean them, and it just adds more. I prefer washers. But this knife is such a good workhorse that I'll take out in the woods with me. Clip point blade, I love that. Access to the lock bar is great. This is one of the original ones in D2. I have not been able to get my hands on any more of the Damn Designs stuff, but most of their knives are in 14C28N now on the budget side, which definitely is something that I like even more. So this knife here, not going anywhere. Love this knife. I'm going to continue to carry and use this knife for a long, long time to come. Absolutely fantastic knife. Next up, you know what? Let's kind of stick with knives that I said were the best of 2021. The Kubey KU-322. So I know the review of this knife didn't come out all that long ago, but I've been carrying and using this knife for a long, long time, for quite a while. And I love it. You have this really, really nice, very useful drop point blade. As you can see, I dyed the scales blue, so that should tell you something about how much I like it. Reversible clip. The clip is probably my least favorite part of the knife, but it's not terrible. The ergos. Again, this is one of those knives that just fills your hand. Not very many pocket knives have those ergos that truly fill your hand. This one and the Cerberus, they really do. You have this nice choil. I love the ramp here. Jimping is fairly decent. Good performing D2 blade, coated here, as you can see. The action is also just ridiculously good. Love it. Absolutely great knife. Multiple deployment options. Yeah, this is a budget knife that I absolutely love. And honestly, this is one of those knives where someone told me, I want one knife for the rest of my life, but I don't want to spend over $100. I'll say, hey, you can get one of these for $50 and it'll do you just fine. So yeah, really, really great knife. Big fan of that one. And another knife that was on my best for 2021 list, the Petrified Fish Beluga. I love the design of this knife. I said before that it looks like a folding bushcraft knife. Love the ergos. Again, hand filling. Just so good with the contoured micarta. It's nice and tall, and the clip is excellent. Love the clip. The blade, K110 steel, works well. Comes down to a good thin grind. Another flat grind. This is another knife that just a fantastic work knife. However, this particular knife, I'm going to be getting another Beluga because mine has significant detent lash. I cannot get the centering to stay good. I mean, this is with no blade play and the action is still very, very good, but the centering is way off. I've been developing a little bit of lock stick, if you can hear that. Hope you can hear that, but it's getting progressively worse instead of getting better, so that kind of worries me. So I'm probably going to be getting a new Petrified Fish Beluga, one of the blue micarta ones, because, again, me and blue. I do like the way this one looks, the black blade and the natural micarta. I think that's really cool, but I would prefer one of the blue ones. And then I'm also going to get one of the minis. Really excited to experience one of those. But other than the problems I'm having with this specific knife, I love the design very, very much. This is one of my favorite budget knife designs ever, to be quite honest. Very, very good looking knife. Just a big, big fan. Really, really impressed with this knife. So yeah, we'll definitely be getting myself another one and seeing how that one holds up. Okay, next up, the CRKT Tuna. Great knife. This is one of my favorite CRKTs. There are some more premium versions out there now I keep meaning to get my hands on, but just haven't getting around to it. Ergo's very neutral, very good. Points a tip down for you. 8CR14 steel, not the best, but you know what, it works. Frame lock, I like budget frame locks. Steel frame lock's pretty cool. Centering's good. This pocket clip is amazing. Love the pops of color. I love the contrast of the black wash with the green and then the brass accents. Really, really cool. You do have an over travel stop. Cutout for the lock bar is nice and thin. Thumb studs are comfortable and pops right out of there. Running on Teflon washers, but man, very smooth. This is one of those knives that sometimes you just can't knock Teflon. It's good. And whoops. Jeez. yeah, good knife. Good knife, I say as I throw it across my desk. Yeah, like that one a whole lot. Very highly recommend. Alrighty, moving on. The Bestech Paladin. This is a knife that I talk about all the time. Ask anyone who knows me. I'm always talking about the Bestech Paladin. I'm always recommending it to everyone. I think this is just a fantastic knife. This is one of the best budget knives in the world, in my opinion. The ergos are just really, really nice. Love the jimping up here. And this Tonto blade is so, so good. On my channel, I say a lot of times, check out my review of the Bestech Paladin. And I highly recommend you check out my review of the Bestech Paladin because I do go more into depth on what I like about this knife so much, what makes it such a good tool. But, you know, it's a video about me gushing on this knife. What we can see here with the blade is, look at the way they've done these swedges. What these swedges do is they bring you a lot of strength out towards the tip, out towards this Tonto edge. So for your scraping, for your, like, if you're pushing down zip ties, you have a nice beefy tip. But then here on this part of the grind, it gets down to 15 thousandths. And since the blade stock is actually thinner here than it is out towards here, it passes through material so well. This knife is an absolute laser beam. Besides that, I love the milling on the G10. I mean, just, I like when companies do these small little details that show that they actually care about the knife. Sharpening choil is really good. These small little chamfers here, or the grooves there, backspacer is really nice. I have dyed this knife blue. Love the little chamfers here on the edge. The clip is nothing special, but it works, and it works really good. Some people have complained that they can touch the edge of the knife when it's closed, and my finger's a little bit, I mean, I don't have huge fingers, but my finger's a little bit fat, and if I like really try, I can just barely get my nail to rub against the edge. I don't think it's an issue. You won't cut yourself when you flip it, unless you have like really, really narrow fingers. But yeah, just a really great knife. The action is fantastic. I convinced my buddy Sharpened Blade to get one of these, and the detail on his was terrible. And oh my gosh, it's such a shame because the detail on mine is so good. This is running on multi-row bearings. Oh my gosh. Such a good knife. And the flipper tab is shaped so well. This little area here, when you push it, oh man, that just snaps out. And if you want to flick it, you have the little jimping here to grab onto. Man, I mean, I cannot fail mine. Yeah, no, that detent is dialed on mine. I love this knife so much. It's a fantastic user knife. This is one of my favorite Tontos. Tontos are just such good EDC blade shapes. Do scraping, pushing down on zip ties like I already said, plus slicing, piercing. Just an absolutely fantastic EDC blade shape. I'm a big fan of this knife. Easy access to the liner. Great price too. You get these for like 52 bucks. Hell yes. Get one. I love my Bestech Paladin. It comes in two blade shapes, the Tonto and the trailing point. I definitely recommend the Tonto, just from the experience I've had with it. It's an absolutely great blade shape. Okay, moving on. The Sencut episode. As you can see, this is another one that has been subjected to my dye treatment. I love this knife. It's such a cool looking budget knife. In a world where budget knives can sometimes be very plain looking, this one isn't. This one stands out from the crowd, especially, if I may say so, with these new scales from me. Jimping here is really nice. I like that you can get your thumb up in this harpoon swedge. I like harpoon blade shapes that are like this, where the harpoon comes back far enough for you to get your thumb behind it. I absolutely hate harpoon blade shapes where it just has like a harpoon out here at the tip. I hate that. It looks so ugly. It looks lazy to me. Like, you know, someone designed a knife and they're just like, this blade looks too plain. How can we make it look fancy? Oh, we'll just cut a notch at the top. Boom, done. No, I hate that. I hate that. This is a good harpoon. It comes back. Plus, it's a harpoon buoy. You have this amazing clip point. It just works so good. 9CR steel, flat grind, ground very thin. This is made by the same people that do Civivi, so it's kind of be expected. Reversible clip. The ergos are very nice. The action is very nice because the flipper tab is positioned above the center line of the pivot. Get all the leverage in the world. Great jimping on the flipper. Really, really cool. My one problem with this knife, hear that rattling? I have no idea what that is. It's this screw or the barrel in there under the backspacer. When I took this knife apart to dye it, I tried to fix that, but I couldn't see a real reason, an obvious problem that was causing this rattling. And after I put the knife back together, it's still there, and it's still there no matter how much I tighten down the screws. So that is something that's a little bit weird. A Morocco knife, but you know what? I still like the knife, and it's very affordable. It's like 45 bucks. So very, very cool knife. Like that a whole lot. Okay, let's talk about the last budget knife here. The CJRB Scoria. I love this knife. It is still my favorite CJRB. As you can see there, it's wearing a nice mirror edge from me. Very, very good. But I love this knife. The ergos are good. Choke up here, the action is very good. I'm not usually someone who's a fan of thin knives, but this knife still feels hand-filling because I think of the tallness. It's just really good. I do wish there's jimping up here, but it's not so bad. The blade shape is gorgeous. What a perfect drop point. Love that. It slices very good because it's so thin. I think it comes down to like 19 or 20 thousandths behind the edge, but especially as you can see here, I've weighed back my edge quite a bit. Combine that with the thin blade stock, and this thing slices like a dream. Love the titanium accents. This clip is an absolutely fantastic titanium milled pocket clip. It hides in my hand so well. This micarta is really nice. This is a knife center exclusive, not exclusion. My gosh. Access to the liner is good. Just really, really nice. This is one of my favorite knives to carry around campus because, you know, it's nice and thin and it's just very lightweight, very easy to carry. I love this knife a whole lot. AR RPM 9, one of my favorite blade steels. Stonewash on here is very, very nice. I like it a whole lot. So, yeah, just an absolutely fantastic knife. A little bit expensive for a budget knife, honestly, but it is a good knife. It's just a fantastic knife. If they ever made a more premium version of this knife, I'd buy it. Oh, and also, let's go back to my Paladin for a second. Bestech, please make a titanium frame lock version of this knife. Texture titanium. It's the Paladin. We need the knight in shining armor version. Make a titanium frame lock version of the Paladin, please. I would buy that in an instant. Oh my gosh. I can only dream, right? Alrighty then, moving on. Yeah, let's go ahead and go here. This is one of my most carried and used and abused knives out there. My Cold Steel 4 Max Scout. I love this knife. I love it. I cannot wait until summertime gets here again, where I'm back out in the woods cowboying and doing stuff. This is just, yeah, it's a beast. It's a massive knife. But man, I love carrying this when I'm working in the woods because essentially when I carry this knife, I don't have to carry a fixed blade. I absolutely love this knife. It's such a good workhorse. It's such a beater knife. It is a huge knife. It's huge. There's no getting around that. But it's not huge in the comical sense. It's not huge in the completely unusable sense. It's actually a very usable knife. The ergonomics are very good. You can choke up in here. Yeah, it's thick behind the edge. But again, for all my outdoor tasks that I use this for, this gets used on wood a lot. And other tough materials like that, ropes and things, it just works fantastically. It carries way better than it should. I mean, it's a 10-ounce knife, but it carries very, very well. The clip works fine in my opinion. Triad lock, of course, unparalleled strength. Look how thick that triad lock is. This knife is a beast. Oh, listen to that snap, that lockup. That is just beautiful. That is just music to my ears. But yeah, as you can see, this knife does not get cleaned very often. It doesn't really need to be. If I cleaned it, I just get it dirty again immediately. Austin A steel. I have an entire video testing this knife. You can also check out my review of this knife. Austin A is awesome. I love Austin A from Cold Steel. Well, okay. I've had some issues with Austin A on the 80-20.5s that I have, but on this knife, it is done absolutely spectacularly. Love that knife so much. What do we want to do next? Let's go with this one next. This is a knife that I've used and loved before the channel ever started. This is my Cold Steel 80-15. Obviously, as you can see. I love this knife. I love this knife so much. I'm a sucker for Andrew Demko designs. And this knife, when I bought this knife, this was one of the first high-end knives I bought. And again, I bought it when I was out working in the woods, when I needed a heavy duty folder, and it has not done me wrong. I have 2 of these actually. This one, as you can see, I have blue scales on. The ergos are just so nice. The jimping here is it's a little bit aggressive, but I don't find it too aggressive on a bare hand. And when you're using gloves, it's absolutely amazing. This drop point blade shape is absolutely perfect. Gorgeous drop point blade. The scorpion lock is so nice. When you get these knives dialed in, oh my gosh, there is nothing like them. I absolutely love my 8015. S35 VN steel, one of my favorite steels. These thumb studs work great. Fully ambidextrous knife. Oh, the sound of that lockup. Gives me a knife nerd. Never mind, I'm not going to say that. My only complaint is I wish it was a stonewash blade instead of a satin finish. But the satin finish is very nice. It's pretty nice. It has held up pretty well through all my use. In fact, does this one have any scratches? Yeah, there's a scratch. Pretty big one. There's another. But yeah, satin finish has held up pretty good, so I guess I don't have too much to complain about, but just love this knife. The ergos are fantastic. Just an amazing, amazing work knife. And this is a knife that, honestly, if I could only keep one knife for the rest of my life, gosh, this would be it. I absolutely love this knife. Fantastic. Fantastic knife. Okay, and the last knife we're going to be looking at today is the 8015 LITE. I like this knife a lot too. Now, I do carry and use the more expensive version more. However, if I did not have the more expensive version, I would be 100% satisfied with this one. This is also a knife that I did a lot of testing with on that Austin A, and it did really, really well. My biggest complaints with this knife were, oops, this one's not as broken as my other one, were it did have some pretty serious lock stick there for a while, but I was able to smooth that out, filing it a little bit. There we go. And you can definitely tell that this knife is, a cheaper version than that other one. These come in about 135 bucks. I think it's worth that. You do get good performance. It is a little bit more lightweight. The ergos, though, are just as good. The blade looks just as nice. I mean, the knife looks just as sexy. And when I get this one broke in all the way, I mean, it's not bad. It's just that I haven't used this knife in a while, so he's probably needs a little bit of lube. But yeah, I do like this knife a whole lot. If you want an 8015 and you don't have enough money for the S35VN version, and you definitely don't have enough money for a full custom version, this is a fantastic way to go. I think this will scratch the itch for you really, really well. This is one of my favorite knife designs in the whole world. Probably, this might even be my favorite knife design in the whole world. And yeah, I can definitely recommend it 100%. Super strong lockup. In my opinion, this knife is technically stronger than the Triad lock, just because when you're holding it, you're applying more force down on the lock bar, but don't quote me on that. That's just my opinions. I do like this lock a little bit better than the Triad lock. Much more easy to one hand. Oh, just such a good knife. Oh, man. I could play with these all day. Damn, I love these. I love these knives. In fact, this one's going in my pocket. What do I have in my pocket today? Arson Cutlery. Serious? Nope. Year out. We're putting in the 8015 LITE. That's what I'm going to carry today. Gosh, every time I handle the 8015s, I just fall completely in love with them all over again. Fantastic knives. Absolutely perfect. So there we go. There we have it. There are some long-term reviews and updates on some of my very favorite knives. Any one of the knives on this list gets a 100% recommendation from me, and I think that you will absolutely enjoy the knife for whatever you want. If you're looking for an EDC, nice simple EDC, the Scoria, fantastic, cannot go wrong with that. Or the Paladin, fantastic. If you're looking for a hard use knife, the 8015s are a great way to go. The Formac Scout, just any of these knives are absolutely fantastic, beautiful, well done knives. And yeah, if you don't have at least one of them, I recommend that you get the one that speaks out to you the most, because I do not think you'll be disappointed. So anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you liked, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, comment below telling me why not. You guys haven't been doing that lately. But anyways, I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.